Jews are known for their strange dietary laws, layer upon layer of rules that determine what traditional Jews can eat and not eat. But the strange thing is that all those rules, every single one of them, is connected to killing animals for food. There are 7 layers of rules about how you eat meat. Firstly, a list of animals that can be eaten and animals that can't be eaten. Secondly, that the animal should not be ill or sick before it's slaughtered. The laws of treifa. Thirdly, that the way the animal is killed is very specific. The laws of shchita, nevela, and ever min achai. Then we have parts of the animal that can be eaten and parts that can't be eaten. The prohibitions on eating blood, the prohibition on eating the sciatic nerve, and the prohibition on eating cheleb, the forbidden fats. And finally, the laws of basar b'chalav, milk and meat, which most people are most aware of in a Jewish context. But all of those rules are connected to the idea of killing animals for food. If we didn't kill animals for food, there would be no laws of kashrut at all. What would happen if the meat that we ate originated not with animals and didn't require killing, but came from a place like this, from a laboratory? If meat came from a laboratory, would there be any rules of kashrut at all? The story reading in the Talmud is in Masechet Sanhedrin, page 59b. It starts by asserting, in the name of Rav, who was a first-generation Amora from Bavel, Adam ha-rishon lo hutar lo basar lachila. The primordial man, Adam, in the Garden of Eden, wasn't allowed to eat meat. That's Rav. And then the Gemara objects to that and says, Meitive, we have an earlier source. We have a source that contradicts that, a source about Adam ha-rishon, primordial Adam, eating meat. Haya Rabbi Yehuda ben Tema Omer, Rabbi Yehuda ben Tema said, Adam ha-rishon mesev bagan Eden haya, a primordial man would recline in the Garden of Eden, Vayu malchei sharet solim lo basar, and the ministering angels would roast meat for him, u'mesanim lo yayin, and they used to pour out wine for him. Hitzitz lo nachash v'ra'a bichvodo, the snake, the serpent in the garden, had a little look at that and saw how great his life was, v'nit kanelo, bo, and was jealous of him. So we have an earlier source from the period of the Mishnah, which says that Adam Rishon did eat meat in the Garden of Eden. And not only that, that was why the snake was jealous of Adam Rishon. It got the whole ball rolling with the snake, because who would have been jealous of Adam Rishon if he'd just been eating vegetables and fruit? The Talmud has to answer that problem, because now we've got a contradiction between this earlier source and Rav, who says that Adam Rishon didn't eat meat. Hatam b'basar yored min hashamayim. That was talking about meat that fell down from heaven. Mi'ika basar yored min hashamayim. Is there such a thing? Meat that comes from heaven? Yes. Now they're going to tell us another story about a different rabbi who had an encounter with meat that comes from heaven. Kihad Rabbi Shimon ben Chalafta hava ka'azil ba'orcha. Rabbi Shimon ben Chalafta was going on the way, Pagubo hanach ariyavata, and bumped into him a couple of lions, Dahavu kanahame la'apeh, and they were roaring at him. Amar, he said, Hakfrim shoagim leteref, the lions are roaring for their meat, for their prey. Nachitule tarte atmata, 2 lumps of meat came down. Chada echiluha v'chada shavakua. One he fed to them so the lions wouldn't eat him, the other one he took with him. Aitei v'ata lebeit midrash, he brought it along and came to the Beit Midrash. Bayal, and he asked a question about that meat that came down from heaven. Davar tamei hu zeh or davar tahor? Is this a pure thing or an impure thing? Amrule, ein davar tamei yored min hashamayim. They said to him, nothing impure comes from heaven. Bai mine Rabbi Zera mi Rabbi Abahu. Another couple of rabbis, one asked the other, Yardalo demut chamor mahu. What about if it had the form of a donkey or a pig? What about if a pig came down from heaven? Amarle, Yerud nala, you idiot. Ha'amrile, this is what they say. Ein davar tamei yored min hashamayim. Nothing impure comes from heaven. The playful text that we just read entertains the possibility that even donkey meat, if it fell from the sky, would be considered kosher. If thousands of tons of flesh, thousands of tons of meat can be extracted from a single hair of an animal, even from a sheep or from a pig, isn't it possible that that meat could also be considered magical meat according to the Talmud? And if that were the case, maybe the laws of kashrut are really about to change forever. In the next few years, a huge struggle is going to take place over lab-grown meat. There will be those who claim that it's business as usual, that the laws of kashrut should continue to operate even in this new era. But there will be more radical voices that claim that if meat eating is disconnected completely from the question of killing, if lab meat can and should be treated as magical meat that falls from heaven, then everything is about to change.